Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn Athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello again, everyone, and good Tuesday afternoon. Welcome into the latest edition of the Auburn Blitz. I am Andy Graham alongside Randy Lee. We'll be with you for the next hour, taking your comments, taking your phone calls, talking about everything going on in the world of Auburn Athletics. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us today. A lot to talk about, some new guidelines for the name, image, and likeness out there. Trying to at least put some kind of guardrails on this new legislation. We'll talk about that. Some interesting comments from some coaches and administrators throughout the country, some anonymous, some have put their names to it. We'll kind of look at some of those. And what is this? Does this change anything? Does this actually, will this help in any way? It's possible. There's certainly the same things that have always been illegal are still illegal, as far as tampering with recruits and trying to funnel money to recruits for them to sign with your school. That's still illegal. It's always been illegal. Is that going on right now? Probably. Has that been going on for 20, 30 years? Of course it has. Will it continue to go on? Yes, it will. But we'll look at it. We'll kind of break it down a little bit and talk about some of the things, and then the new, how they're approaching this and what that means moving forward. But good to see you, Randy. How's everything going?
Glad to be here. Beautiful weather outside, busy. Heading into the late spring, summer months. In my area of expertise, which is manufacturing, this is really when it picks up for us. So I'm chasing my tail, Andrew. That would be the answer that I would give you as I float in here about 15 seconds before we go on air. So looking down at the list of the topics that we will discuss, NIL has been probably top of the list for a month now. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of wondering, by saying that, how much of a difference that you think that we're getting to in comparison to where we were a month ago, where it was you and I up here just giving a lot of what ifs. Are we getting any closer to ironing out what the NCAA sees this thing playing out like?
I think it's a decent first step. I mean, you got to start somewhere, and you got to say, okay, this is what, let's establish what is permitted and what's not permitted, and then, let the lawsuits begin again. And we'll try to maybe sort it out from there. But again, you got to start somewhere. You got to, and we all understand. And I think everybody said, okay, we'll turn it loose at the beginning. And now everybody stepped back and said, okay, this is fine. We all agree that there's no going back from this. But if we continue down the path that we're on, it's just, I don't think nobody looks at this and says, I think this is sustainable.
And I think from the university standpoint, knowing exactly what the expectations are by the university when it comes to the NIL's got to help. Because you can put Jason Campbell and all the great business people that you could possibly come up with the right attorneys on board, and if the law changes or the rules change drastically over a several-month period, then all of that effort that you have going towards you on a business standpoint is null and void. So I would say, please, let's get to the finish line. Whatever that decision may be, let's get it to the finish line, and then let's try to act on it from there. Because starting over a year ago, when this was enacted, I thought that it would be a fun first year to see how the business side of it would work, and it has been, but it's kind of worked the way that you and I expected that it would. It's going to become an agency.
Yeah.
It's going to become the aunts and the uncles and the grandparents and the moms and the dads that are the handlers of the kid. Yes, they're the handlers of the kid, but they're also going to have to reach out and find an agent to get involved with, or else they're going to leave them a lot of money on the table. And you semi-saw that when we lost Jalen Green and others to $1 million+ deals because, kids couldn't go straight from high school into the pro game. And when that happened, I said, oh, my, NCAA is probably not going to sit back and let this become the norm. Which, how in the world would it not become the norm? Unless there was money changed hands. I mean, you think there's a lot of kids going to turn down $1 million, $2 million a year to come play at Auburn? Really? When they really weren't going to get any money? Now, if you're going to get $1 million or $2 million a year and you come up with $750,000 under the table, I could see that. But that was going to be a hard game to sustain, too. So I have no more answers today than I had then. I just think that it is a unique conversation, and it's always moving, which makes it interesting.
Oh, yeah. And it is, and it will continue to evolve and to continue to grow. We'll see. But so this happened Monday. I'll just kind of read some of this, and we can talk about it as we go here. But board members emphasize a continued support for the ability of student athletes to benefit from their name, image, and likeness. Obviously, there is no going back once this has been unleashed. The guidance is intended to provide clarity for those engaging in a rapidly evolving NIL environment, acknowledging that the environment will continue to evolve and ongoing attention will be needed to ensure student athletes are able to benefit from these opportunities. The guidance was developed by a task force of national leaders with student athlete opportunity at the forefront of discussion. Specifically, the guidance defines as a booster any third-party entity that promotes an athletic program, assists with recruiting, or assists with providing benefits to recruits, enrolled student athletes, or their family members. That's what a booster's always been. The definition could include collectives, which are new, set up to funnel name, image, and likeness deals to prospective student athletes or enrolled student athletes who might be considering transferring. NCAA recruiting rules preclude boosters from recruiting and or providing benefits to prospective student athletes. So that's been going on. That's what you're trying to prevent. That they're saying, okay, once you get to a school, so we're talking about basically narrowing down. Everybody's saying, okay, we're fine. Student athletes need to be able to capitalize on their NIL, but we got to figure out how to keep this out of the recruiting aspect of it, as far as it's simply becoming go to the highest bidder. So how do you control that?
No idea.
I mean, that's the thing.
I mean, that's semi-human.
Back channels are back. I mean, you can go. College coaches and administrators have been so good about getting around rules that are put in place. You put in a structure of how this is supposed to work. You're going to find coaches that go around it. That's just the nature of what it is, right?
Okay, and so once you get them on campus, you can get them involved with the collective, and they can start cashing in on their NIL.
Yeah.
But before you get them there, you're not supposed to do anything toward that.
You can't lure. You can't put the bait on the hook from a booster.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It really it is the. First off, let's just go to something that you and I both know, the business world. Okay, well
you know it. Yeah.
Well, you go and you interview for a company, and the company, how are they going to coerce you into coming and working for them? The payday at the end. I mean, people are bringing their talents to the table, and you're paying for those said talents in a capitalistic environment. And that's what we're setting up with college athletics, correct? It's capitalism at its best now.
Yes.
So how in the world are you going to convince someone to come to your school unless you go and you say, okay, Arch Manning, the last quarterback that we had here, Bryce Young, we're not going to give you any money before you get here. But when you do get here, here is what I'm not saying that we're going to do this for you, but here's what we were able to pull off for him. So what's the difference? Honestly, what is the difference if that's the case? Because I think at the end of the day, whether you pay them before or after, as long as they get paid, most agents Most handlers of these kids are going to be good with that. Same as a job. They're not going to pay you to come to the interview. They're not going to pay you but once you make the decision to come there, they can at least show you what you can expect to be paid to help you with your decision-making process. Where am I off?
So I guess, are we saying conversations are okay as long as no money changes hands?
As long as we keep a gray area where I can't say, Arch Manning, you will get.
Yeah.
I could see it being, Arch Manning, this is what we did for Bryce Young, and we feel good that we could do this for you, but I'm not offering it to you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that this is what we've been able to pull off in the past. And I know that we're only a year into this thing, but I'm thinking a few years down the road when you're selling these recruits on what to expect. And right now, what you're selling a 17-year-old kid is what the next 3 or 4 years could look like for them. So you do have to have a plan. And there are very smart people out there that are going to be representing these kids. And that's one of the most ridiculous paragraphs that you've ever read on this show.
The guidance is effective immediately for violations that occurred prior to May 9th. The board of director and enforcement staff to review the facts of individual cases, but to pursue only those of actions of the clearly and contrary to the published interim policy, including the most severe violations of recruiting rules or payment for athletes' performance.
It's Greek to me.
Yeah. Okay, we're up against our first break here. Love to know what you think about this new guidelines for NIL. Is it going to work? Does it mean anything whatsoever moving forward? We got to go, but we'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA Weekly Show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 Preview Show, and Reclassification Reveal Show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
From the smallest drippy faucet to drain cleaning to water heater replacement to gas lines to total systems replacement, A&M Plumbing handles it all. Visit amplumbing.net today for the experienced, licensed, and insured pros at A&M Plumbing.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
GMC Sierra 1500 AT4s, all-terrain four-wheel drives, are ready to roll now at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika and discounted up to $3,800 off. And check out the GMC heavy-duty 2500s and 3500s. GMC Acadia, save up to $4,500 now with 0% financing on most new GMC models.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the ground or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you for about 45 more minutes in today's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. We are brought to you each and every day by Russell Do-It Center. Thank you to them for all of their support of the show. They got 10 locations around Central Alabama for all your building supply, home decor, tools, whatever it might be. Go and check out Russell Do-It Center today. Patrick says USC is paying guys more than the NFL. Dano says, I've heard a couple of different things on the NIL that when a kid enters the transfer portal and transfers, who is responsible for the NIL deal he made at the first school? Ed says you can take those guidelines and throw them in Lake Martin. The best players are going where they can get the most money, like it's always been. Like Luke has always said, Bama just cares more, and he's right. Patrick says the NCAA needs a collective bargaining agreement to put a cap on the NIL.
I don't know how you put this back in the box. I think that it's already exposed itself, and I really don't know how you grip it back down. Am I wrong?
No.
I think that, Brett and Luke both came on and they said that, once this thing starts, watch where it goes. And maybe I thought that it would take a little bit longer than it has, but it has really expedited itself to see the amount of money that's getting thrown out there. When you talk about Texas A&M and $30 million for this recruiting class, and that may not be a real number, but that's what everybody's saying. And when you see how successful they were, that's what I would believe to be the case. I don't know that a five-star can be gotten in football for less than 7 figures now.
Would it just so happen that Texas A&M signed the best, on paper, the best class in the history of classes?
No, I don't think it just so happens. No, I mean, what are they selling? They're selling NIL. They're selling money. They're selling boosters with deep pockets, and they're selling a lot more boosters with deep pockets than some of us other universities have. And that's capitalism at its best. So we can either get deeper pocketed boosters or find different ways to funnel money into these recruits, or it's going to be a tough sell moving forward. And I don't think that you can put this back in Pandora's box. I think it's exposed itself. So good luck to those schools like us. I mean, you've got to come up with a dynamic salesperson and marketer like Bruce Pearl to pull this thing off. And he's pulling it off in basketball.
Yeah.
He's playing this game as well as anyone. If you don't have somebody that can play this business game well, you're in trouble. More maybe than ever.
Got a phone call, I think.
You kind of disgusted with it all. Caller, you're on the Auburn Blitz.
Yes, this is Marcy in Anniston. I just want to wish you guys a happy day, and I'm enjoying your conversation today about the NIL. And my comment on that would be the first thing they need to do is close up the NCAA. Or did I say it right? I'm old. I think I got the right initials there.
What would they do to replace it? You talk about just take.
Well, I don't know what they would replace it with, but in my longevity of watching football, I think that they have made more mistakes than they have gains. And I know that you have to have some kind of enforcement or, things that just go off the deep end. But I can go way back to when they closed up the dorms for the football players. To me, that was the stupidest thing you could do. But, they did it and everybody survived. But what y'all were talking about, the boosters and all, that's been going on, I can name you several things, and I will say I'm somewhat knowledgeable. I mean, I love to talk, but like I was at Red Alpha Club for years and years. Remember, 2 quarterback clubs. I've heard all the different coaches from all the different schools, and I can give you one example of how people probably still do and used to do. You got a major businessman who's a booster of one of the schools. It could be Auburn or Alabama. I won't call which one. And what he does, it just gives kids a job on the side if they're football players, and pays them. But if you go over there and look, I mean, the kids really aren't working. And I don't have any problem with any of this. Don't take that I'm complaining. I'm just saying there's all kinds of ways to skirt around things that's always been, and now it's just a little bit more in the open. So I don't know what the answer is, and I'm enjoying listening to y'all talk about it because y'all are extremely knowledgeable, and I figure when the answer comes up, if I tune in on the right day, I'm going to hear it. But for me right now, I see it's just a mess. And another thing I'll throw in before I hang up where I can listen to y'all, but is because I worked on commission most of my life, and you can't tell me that some of them players that are playing on a team, and one guy's getting all this stuff, and another guy maybe getting a little bit, but I'm going to tell you that is going to have a psychological effect on team play. And that, I'm 99% sure I'm right on that. But anyway, I enjoyed talking with you guys, enjoyed y'all listening to me, and I'm going to hang up where maybe I can catch the rest of your conversation.
Thank you, Morris. We appreciate you. Andy and I talked about that during the break with the Miami basketball player. Coming out and saying unless his NIL deal was expanded, that he was no longer going back to Miami. Now, I think he's retracted that since.
He said, misrepresented, but that has to be.
Sure it was.
Somebody said, man, this is a bad look or something.
Recruits and transfers, this is the way that I would see that conversation working out. Recruits and transfers that are coming in, maybe getting a better deal than what he's currently playing under. And it's to be understood. So if you're on a commission base or whatever it is, you want to be paid your value. And this Miami player, who was one of the key players for Auburn's loss this past year, knows his value and knows his worth, and he's taking advantage of it. And you say, I hate that. I wish it wasn't like that. I mean, I wish it'd go back to the way it was.
Why come out and retract it then?
Probably it was made right. A lot of times you get a salary boost by asking for it. And if you've got some leverage, then you can win that. If you have no leverage, if you have no other options, then a lot of times you can't win that negotiation. I bet this guy's got a lot of leverage. I think Miami wants him to leave.
Yeah, no.
Okay? Then my guess is that was made right once it was brought to the public where his thoughts were.
And Morris brings up some great points. That when they I think a lot of people agree the NCAA needs to go away, and we're headed that direction. I don't know how quick we'll get there, but we're headed in some sort of different kind of fashion of the Power Five governing themselves. And the part about the removing of the athletic dorms, I agree, that was stupid. I remember that was not too terribly long ago, but that was one of the dumber things that they've done. We got to take another break, but don't go anywhere. Love to hear from you. Comment away or give us a call, 256-234-6221. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
Russell Building Supply and Home Center is just around the corner in a brand new convenient location with a wide selection of grills, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. The new store offers more home improvement items along with other helpful conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard and our Best Rewards program, making it an ideal destination for do-it-yourselfers and professional contractors. Get ready for game day on the plains by stocking up on all your Auburn tailgating gear at Russell Building Supply and Home Center.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you. Interesting discussion about NIL, the new guidelines, everything going on in the world of college football. We got some interesting topics coming up, but to the phone line we'll go.
Terry, you're on Auburn Blitz.
Guys, how y'all doing?
We're good, Terry. Glad to have you.
Glad to talk to y'all. How soon do y'all think this causes a good coach to take his job? I've always stated that somebody like Nick Saban, who's got nothing to lose, he's the greatest of all time, and he's got multiple conference and national titles. He's got countless All-Americans, putting guys in the NFL. How long before some ego-driven kid comes along and wants, and Nick Saban says no, and he's 70 years old, right? And just throws his hands up and says, enough.
Well, here's my opinion on that. I think that it only makes the rich richer. And,
right.
And I said this last year, Terry, that it's going to be extremely hard for whenever Nick Saban does decide to walk away to look down and see, however many number one recruiting classes without however many top-rated quarterbacks that he possibly gets to know which group he's not going to finish out with. Because it's not like he's getting to a level or struggling getting players in there, and that's changed. No, if anything, if one player doesn't work out for him, i.e. a receiving core where he needs a couple of pieces, he goes out there on the transfer portal and he gets the very best 2 receivers that he can possibly find, and he plugs them into a couple of pieces he feels like he's faltering. So I think the rich just get richer. I don't know how this would ever hurt somebody like Nick Saban. Now, an up-and-comer, I could see how it could hurt them extremely.
Well, Iowa State is just, Randy, just from the point, some ego-driven kid who's, bouncing between Alabama and Georgia and Texas or whomever, and a USC maybe. And, Texas A&M, a lot of money in those schools. We all know that. We all know the deep pockets of Texas A&M. It's old oil money. And just a few years ago, the CEO of a major corporation was the board of directors chairman, broadcasting company. And so, he may still be. I don't know. I haven't followed it lately. But I just think that's the kind of thing that would get a great coach like him to resign and just throw his hand and say enough. And not just him, several of the guys. You saw what the kid at Miami said, didn't you?
The basketball player, yes.
The basketball player, right. I switched to basketball. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. Yeah, I saw that, and we just talked about that a minute ago. But, you bring up a topic that I've had this conversation a couple of times in the last day, Terry. And this is, you take the 5-star. Right now, I think Auburn's got 1 5-star on the roster.
Right.
If Owen Papo didn't work out, we'd be talking a lot about it. But when you got 19 like Georgia on the roster and one of them doesn't work out, then you don't discuss it so much. So, Alabama loses a receiver who's a 5-star who was considered one of the top receivers in the class. He doesn't get in line. He moves over to Texas. You hear hardly anybody talking about.
Right.
You're not going to talk about him because you're so deep in the transfer portal. You just go out and you pick and choose somebody to replace him. So
the Biletnikoff winner.
Yeah. So I think that it's a little bit different when you're trying to build something rather than already having something built at this point.
And, hey, Andy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Andy, I said good coach. So that rules out Brian Harsin, right? Take care, guys.
Thank you, Terry. We appreciate it, buddy. 256-234-6221. And, Terry makes a good point, though. You would think that at some point in time, the Mike Krzyzewskis and the Nick Sabans of the world would say things are moving too much. I don't have to put up with this. I won't deal with this. But does anybody think that this is not benefiting Alabama at this point?
Well, it is right now, and it's going to be a slow process. But if Georgia, or if Texas A&M, if Texas, more to the point, if they consistently start out recruiting everybody else because of these kind of things, then, and you've got guys that have been in coaching, and I understand that, Saban will be lobbed in there. He's a bit of an outlier because of the fact of he has been, shockingly to me, he has been so able to adapt and to change on the fly. And that's to his credit, and that's why he's as good as he is. But a lot of guys like a Bobby Bowden, like those old school guys that were still around, a lot of those guys are basically out of coaching now. But you still got guys that have been in coaching for 30, 40 years that are just like, you know what? I just don't want to deal with this new era of college football is not the business that I wanted to get into. It's not. I'll go back and coach high school. I think there may be some truth to that.
We had a little article come across during the break. I don't think we're going to have enough time on this segment, so we'll stick with that. But when we come back through, I noticed during the break that the Alabama Coaches Association, Alabama High School Football Coaches Association here in the state, signed a deal with a corporation to start giving some tutelage, if that's the word that you're wanting to use, towards high school coaches that they can pass down on NIL to the high school athletes that will be moving into the college ranks. It's just a start. I think there's going to be massive agents that handle massive 5-star kids that end up playing, and they're probably already out there because that's who I'd be looking for. If my son was 17 years old and a lot of people wanted him, it wouldn't be me you'd call. You would never talk to me. You'd never talk to my kid. You'd talk to his agent.
You talk to Peaches.
You'd talk to, and you wouldn't talk to Peaches because I think Peaches would probably mess it up as bad as he did for Callaway. But you would talk to an agent that knew how to scheme this thing around taking advantage of all the opportunities that kid's out there. I brought up to you, there used to be a couple of elements that you would look through. Yeah, there was maybe some money under the table that was important, but you want to know the education level, how much playing time, what the facilities were like, can my coaches get me to the next level? Well, now you add all 5 or 6 of those things, and there at the end, you throw in how much money am I worth and how much are you going to help me get? And it's a real number now, so it's really funny to read that they're trying to pull that back a little bit. You can't pull that back?
No. Well, it'll be interesting to see which one of those ends up being, because one of them's going to rise to the top. Used to be, it was all about playing time, and then that one's kind of fall back down, and then it was all about the facilities, and now it's a combination of all of them. But one of those is going to be the one that breaks. It's going to be the one that kind of cancels the rest of them out. Is it going to be the NIL? Is that what it's going to be from now on?
I don't think it will. I think it'll be that coach that can get that kid to his peak performance with a mixture of everything else. Because I think at the end of the day, the NFL payday is where the real payday is. And if you can't get them there, then no matter how much money you get them on the NIL, they're losing there. And that's what Nick Saban's preaching.
And academics and degrees are at the bottom now.
If you're a 5-star athlete, of course.
It makes no.
No.
All right. We're up against another break here. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Lake Martin has a new car buying experience. It's the TR Group of Alex City on Cherokee Road. The TR Group has up to 100 late model vehicles to choose from and will not be beat on price, selection, or financing. With the TR Group, your selection and quality is easy and your good credit is rewarded. But we offer guaranteed financing on our inventory because your future is more important than your past. The TR Group, Lake Martin's new standard in auto sales. Located at 814 Cherokee Road, Alex City, USA.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Whether you prefer bricks, clicks, or taps, there's one place built around all your needs. For whatever it is you want to do. Even if your needs change, we'll be right there with you, making it all possible. Because you never know when a new addition will come along. So walk in, log on, or tap away. Either way, Valley's built to help you do you. Wherever life takes you, we'll be right there with you.
Hey guys, this is Nate Paz with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Alex City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce. Because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Hey, this is Doug Roberts, long-term resident of Alexander City. I sold my house with Century 21 Lake Area Realty because all my life I had heard that to sell a house, you need 3 things: location, location, location. I found out there's actually 4. You need location, 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 and Rhonda Gaskins at Century 21 Lake Area Realty to sell your house fast.
Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Brubaker Motors in Montgomery is the largest and fastest growing used car dealership in the River Region. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker. It's better at Brubaker.com.
Brubaker,
You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker.
BREWBAKER. BREWBAKER.com.
It's better at Brubaker.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you. About 20 more minutes left in today's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Brought to you each and every day by Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team. Saving people thousands of dollars on their home mortgages each and every year. 256-397-0248. 256-397-0248. Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team. We're talking about the NIL, new guidelines, talking about coaches. Nobody seems to be thoroughly satisfied with it. Everybody seems to have an opinion about the fact that something needs to be done, but nobody seems to be coming up with any really great solutions about what to do about it.
And they're trying to educate themselves. You know, I did mention in this previous segment that the Alabama High School Football Coaches Association did partner with an outside group to start giving some heads up to the high school coaches here in this state on NIL. It's not that the Coaches Association wants NIL to become part of high school athletics too, which it easily could. Look how much transferring goes on in high school athletics, not only before the season, but in season. It's gotten crazy. It's wild. It's no holds barred out there. Anybody that keeps up and watches knows exactly what I'm talking about in some of these bigger communities. But it is the Coaches Association saying we do see this being of benefit to our student athletes and their parents to try to educate them somewhat on how all of this plays and works. And the best route for us to do that is through our high school coaches. So they have partnered with a group and a consulting group that's going to provide some of that knowledge to them. Andy, I think it's probably a good idea. But the topics and the talk that we're going to be able to have around this is never ending. You going to have fun with it? You had enough NIL talk yet?
I had enough NIL talk about 2 years ago.
It's not going anywhere. It's too interesting.
No. It is what it is what it is. It's the future of college athletics. There's no doubt about it. I shudder to think what it'll be like 10 years from now.
It's going to be a business.
Yeah.
Like it really is. And it's not going to be the teachers and administrators and state officials that are padding their pockets with all the money anymore. And the coaches and the athletic directors and all of that. I'm fine with them making money too. And the construction workers that go out there and win these millions upon $1 million projects to build these football-only facilities. I mean, follow the money and watch what's happened. I would be interested to hear how much administration and teachers have changed in the college system over the last 30 years. Do you remember what you paid your first quarter of Auburn?
Let's see. It seemed like it was about $600 a quarter.
Was. Very good, Andy.
Seemed like that about
Here's how I know this. I had a Russell Foundation scholarship. It paid $3,000, I think, a year. Does that sound right? Did you have it too?
No, I did not. But
didn't have a foundation. I think that's right. And I think that what it did was it covered 3 quarters for me to go to Auburn, $1,000 a quarter. I had to keep my grades to a certain level. And I got $1,000. I bought my books and paid my tuition my first quarter at Auburn, and I got money back.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah.
Today, is the education better today? Has inflation driven prices to the point of where it's like 6 times that?
Oh, yeah.
6 to 8 times that here in this state. Has everything else gone up other than gas at that rate? Has the pay in this state gone up 6 to 8 times? You know, if somebody was making $30,000 a year, are they making $200,000 a year now?
I'm going to say negative.
Negative would be the answer. That would be the correct answer. I'm guessing that it hasn't gone up very much at all in that duration of time. So we wonder why we end up in this conversation. Why can't we just keep it the same? It's because, you know, the fat folks have just really gotten fatter with all of it. And it's not a pretty sight. And so I think that we've made our bed. We got to lay in it now.
And well, I mean, obviously the athletes are the beneficiaries of that, which is good, but I don't know whether, again, I guess if you really love college football, you know, you're going to continue to love it, but when does it stop resembling, you know, something that I want to be a part of? That or
I guess you've got to answer the question yourself.
Yeah.
What would college football have to look like for you to no longer be interested in Auburn football? And if you say
the NFL,
yeah, if you say the NFL, well, and I think that's close to what it's becoming, other than the age bracket, and the opportunities for the best to go ahead and move on into the NFL at a quicker rate, I think will be the answer in long term. Same as the NBA. I don't know how they force an 18-year-old kid. I still don't understand that now. I don't know how they don't allow an 18-year-old kid like LeBron James to go on and take advantage of his talent. They did him, but they changed the ruling shortly thereafter. So I don't have these answers. I just know that if for those that wish it was a product of days past, just forget it. That's over. Once we let this out, it's only going to expand, and those that learn how to play the game are going to win. And I worry about us as Auburn. I really do. I think now maybe more than ever, you got to have a dynamic salesperson in marketing. Bruce Pearl, thank the Lord we got that man. Whatever you're paying him, not enough. Because the alternative could be so bad.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it may not be the head coach, it's the guy that does it. You may have to end up hiring a promoter for the program to kind of be the, you know, overseer of all the business side of it, and let this guy you hired be the X and O's guy to coach. You also have, you know, an administrator and a coach running a program. That's a good point. We got to go to one final segment, but we got a break coming up. Don't go anywhere. More to come right after this.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare. Serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Need that boost to get you started in the morning or help get you through a long day at the office? Alex City Nutrition is your answer. Alex City Nutrition, located on 2nd Broad Street in downtown Alex City, offers meal replacement shakes, post-workout shakes, extreme rebuild products, and a vast array of loaded teas that offer focus, energy, and build up your immunity and overall health. Want to buy in bulk? We now offer your favorite flavors by the gallon. Come by Alex City Nutrition today or call 256-496-8284 to begin your journey to great health.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy taking you up to 1 o'clock, brought to you each and every day by Big Fish Real Estate. For all your real estate needs here in the Lake Martin area, as well as down there on the coast, 551 Big Fish, or look them up, bigfishlakemartin.com. Let's go to the phone line.
Caller, you on the Auburn Blitz.
Hey, I'm still confused about this NIL situation. When someone gets a NIL deal, what are they required to do?
It depends on what the deal is for. Some outside source can contract you to, like, they got a new one now where, just my nephew, my uncle and my, paid an Auburn basketball player so much money, and they wished my nephew a happy birthday, sent him a cameo thing. That's just one example, but that's just the way it works, like anything else.
I watched when the quarterback Bo Nix, when he allegedly got one from, was it Milo's Tea?
Right. Yes.
I never saw one single thing that he had to do, or even Milo's did, to show that he had NIL deals. Is that what happens sometimes? You don't even have to do anything, professionally to.
Well, here's the best that I've heard it explained, Steve, is if you choose to opt into the collective, and right now the collective is run by Jason Campbell, the NIL collective, and if you opt into that, like Tank Bigsby did a couple of weeks ago, what they do is they're out there promoting and kind of giving you a little feel of how to play the game. So if Andy's uncle wants to get a phone call to his nephew to wish him a happy birthday, and the going rate for that to that athlete's $10,000, and Andy's uncle only offers him $500, the collective can come back and say, no, well, you shouldn't accept that $500. That's really worth $10,000. And opting into that, or you can choose not to opt into that and run your own business. Run your own NIL operation under your own name. Hire someone, hire an agent that can go out there and seek funds for you. So I think there's a little bit of that being weighed in. And part of what, let's say, I'm using Andy's uncle. I'm using Andy's uncle as a, but let's say he gives $10,000 a year. Well, that $10,000 a year has got line items that he can ask for or expect to get back for the amount of money that he gives. Those can probably change, and the same as a business, Steve. You know, a business can do the same thing. They can opt in to say even $1,000 a year, $2,500, or $5,000, $10,000, and I think each one of those get different collective deals that they can get for what they're willing to give. So,
and I guess for Bo Nix, it might have been wearing a Milo shirt. It might have been drinking a Milo's tea during a press conference or something. Yeah. Or it might be a lot of stuff on social media that I wouldn't even see.
And that was before the collective.
Yeah.
So that was just him doing the bidding himself. And I think that if you are doing the bidding yourself, Steve, it's whatever you choose, whatever you sign in the contract.
I was expecting to see when Bo Nix got that deal, I would expect him to see him walking out of Kroger with a shopping cart full of Milo tea in his shopping cart. But I just never saw any evidence of him and Milo's having an association, a business association together.
I don't get excited either, really.
Well, and here's the beauty of social media, Steve. We're still today talking. We're still talking about Milo's tea and Bo Nix today. So what's?
Hey, and thanks. And one more thing before I go. My tuition in the 80s was $275 a quarter.
Is that right? Yep. So here's the deal, though, Steve. Let's do this. Let's do a little math. So I went to school in 97. And you went to school what year in the 80s, Steve?
From 80 to 85.
From 80 to 85. So let's just use the 80. So you paid $250 to $300 for a quarter in 80. And then myself in 97 had risen to $670. So it had doubled in a 17-year period. Well, since 97, which is a little bit further back than 17 years ago, but not a lot more, I would guess that instead of doubling, it's 10 times higher. May even be more than that. I'd have to see the number.
Yeah.
But I think a semester's $6,000, $7,000 a year. So, I mean, do we think the education has multiplied between 80 and 97 at the same duration that 97 to now is worth 10 times more than it was when I went to school in 97? Don't think so. So, I think the bigwigs are getting fat and happy with it, and now everybody's out here questioning, and we should have seen the writing on the wall a long time ago.
Could it be that we're still paying these assistant coaches these salaries since they've been fired? We had to up the ante on the tuition?
I don't think that's where it goes. That's just me, but I do think that administrators and buildings and, gosh, go to Auburn now.
Oh, I know.
It doesn't look like – all of those buildings took a great deal of money to put up, and the money's got to come from somewhere, and it's not all coming from federal government. So
you're exactly right. When I was there on a wire road and down that way, there was nothing from Interstate 85 to Shea Jordan Parkway. There was literally nothing except for the Warriors Supper Club, and that was it. So you're right. It's changed dramatically.
New day and age, Steve. We appreciate your phone call this afternoon.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a brave new world.
Better learn how to play it.
You better.
Right now, here were the numbers. I'll throw them back out there from Andy Graham last week. Are we about up to 70 scholarship athletes for Auburn?
I think that's where my calculation.
We got 1 5-star, 34 4-stars, and 33 3-stars on the squad currently. Does that sound right?
Sounds about right.
Alabama and Georgia have more 4 and 5 stars than we have on our roster. Georgia's got 19 5-stars. Alabama's got 14 5-stars. We better figure out how to close that gap. And right now, the only way to close that gap is to learn how to play this NIL game extremely well.
Oh, well, we'll try it again tomorrow. He's Randy. I'm Andy. So long for now, everybody. We'll talk again soon.